Hi, welcome to Story Time with Rohini. I will narrate an Indian folktale again today, and it is called Shiva Acts Double. Once upon a time, there was a rich merchant who was a devotee of Shiva. He would go to Shiva temple every day before beginning his work and pray to Lord Shiva and then start his work and have a good day. Life favored the merchant, and the merchant became richer and richer by the day. And the riches went to his head so much that he stopped going to Shiva temple or praying to Shiva. And he considered himself an equal to Shiva because he thought that he is paying the wages of the laborers, he is providing job to the poor, and he is feeding many people in the village. So he started calling himself Shiva, and he told the villagers that instead of Shiva's name, they should take his name and start praying to him. On top of this arrogance, he even called his two servants Rama and Bhima and asked them to bash up any villager who did not praise him and praised Lord Shiva. Now the villagers were simple folk and they had only one god, that is Shiva. But whenever they started praying to Shiva, Rama and Bhima bashed them up so much that they were afraid to utter the name of Shiva. And they could not utter the name of the rich merchant in reverence, so they just kept quiet. Things went on like this, and one day the rich merchant took it a little too far. He planned to demolish the Shiva temple in the village and planned to build a temple for himself. Now Shiva could not tolerate this. So Lord Shiva decided to teach the merchant a lesson. So next time the merchant went out to check upon the laborers and to check his fields, Shiva took the form of the merchant and entered the merchant's house. And he called Rama and Bhima and said, Rama and Bhima, I heard there are magicians in town who can take the form of anybody they wish. And I, being the richest person in the village, and I, being equivalent to Lord Shiva, I would be a target for the magicians, and the magicians would obviously want to take my form. So whenever they come home, or whenever somebody comes home looking like me, bash them up, said Lord Shiva in the form of a merchant, and he went into his house. He had a good meal and slept soundly. In the meantime, the actual merchant, finished his jobs in the village, and he came back home hungry, and he was about to enter when Rama and Bhima stopped him at the gate, and they said, Hello, mister, who are you? And the merchant was surprised. The merchant was shocked, and he said, Rama and Bhima, are you in your right state of mind? And then Rama and Bhima said, You trickster, you magician, you are trying to deceive us by taking the form of our master. Don't you know that we can recognize our master anytime? You trickster, get out, they said, and they beat him black and blue. And the merchant thought that Rama and Bhima had drunk, and they have lost their senses. So he came back in the evening again. But Rama and Bhima again bashed him. And the merchant was very, very hungry and he did not know where to go. So he went to the Shiva temple that he was about to demolish and spent the night there. And even then he did not realize that it could be Shiva playing a trick on him to teach him a lesson. He just thought that Rama and Bhima have lost their senses, and he decided to resolve things the next day. So next morning he again went to his house, and Rama and Bhima were again angry and they again bashed him. Now he could not take the pain of the beatings anymore, and he decided to take the matter to the village elders. So he went to the village elders and he said, I am the rich merchant, I am the actual one. The one in my house is an imposter. He is a false person. I am the one who's the owner of the house. So please give me justice. Please help me, he said. The village elders trusted the merchant and they called the impostor also to the panchayat. Now they were amazed when the impostor who came looked exactly like the rich merchant, had a voice like the rich merchant, and who he could also behave like the rich merchant. All his mannerisms were similar to that of the rich merchant. Now the village elders were amazed, and they mulled over and they thought a lot over how to resolve this issue, when one very wise old man in the village said, "We have to ask them questions which only they will know about." And then they asked few questions like, what is your favorite dish, when were you born, on which date you got married, and all that. Both of them had similar answers. And then they decided, this is not something that's going to resolve the issue. Let me ask another question, thought the old elder. And he asked, how much money is there in the locker of your house? Now the actual merchant said, in the locker of my house there is somewhere around 5,000 plus rupees. 5,000 a little plus or minus, he said. And then Shiva said, I know how much money is there in the locker of my house. There is exactly 5,555 rupees and 5 annas. And then the village elders asked the servants Rama and Bhima to get the locker to the panchayat. The locker was brought to the panchayat and it was opened in front of all the villagers, and the money was counted, and there was exactly 5,555 rupees and 5 annas. So the village elders decided that Shiva, in the form of the rich merchant, is the actual owner of the house, and they also beat the original merchant black and blue, and they sent him away saying he's an impostor. Now the rich merchant was isolated. He had no friends. He felt all alone, and in his bad state he did not know where to look for help. And then he remembered his friend and his mentor and his protector, Lord Shiva. He went to Lord Shiva's temple and fell at Shiva's feet and said, I am sorry, Shiva, for what I did. I know that it could be you who's punishing me for my misdeeds, and I really apologize for what I thought. I'll never demolish the temple, but I'll actually make it better, and I'll make sure that it is accessible not only to our village folk, but to village folk all around. Shiva, please give me one more chance, he said very humbly. And then Shiva came to the temple and blessed the rich man and said, never let riches get to your head, so much so that in your arrogance you will forget about the protector himself. And Shiva blessed him with a long and happy life, and the merchant returned to his house, and Rama, Bhima, and the merchant's wife, they all acted as if nothing happened, because Shiva wiped away all the bad memories from their brains, and they lived happily ever after. Thank you.